Hey everybody, this is the lesson on Intro to Greatest Common Factor, Part 1. All right, so the first thing you want to do is your warm-up. The first one, how many terms are there in this expression? In this expression, 10y, which is the coefficient and which is the variable? C, distribute to simplify. So distribute the 4 to each of the 3 terms inside parentheses. Remember, distribute means to multiply, to pass out by multiplication. And D, name all the ways to multiply and get 24. Make sure that they're different numbers, not just turnaround facts. All right, pause the video and get started, then check your answers. All right, so hopefully you finished up your warm-up and now you're checking your answers. In A, there are 3 terms, 3m, 2y, and 2m. In the expression above, the coefficient is 10 and the variable is y. Remember, the coefficient and the variable are being multiplied here. And I know that because there's no symbols between 10 and y. Problem C, distribute to simplify. Remember, that means you're multiplying the 4 by each of those 3 terms. So first I did 4 times 2p to get 8p, 4 times 8k to get 32k, and 4 times 3 to get 12. And I know there's going to be plus signs between them. Okay. And D, to get 24, I could do 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, 4 times 6, and that's it. So if you have any of those numbers and just flip-flopped order, that's okay too. So on the agenda for today, that's our warm-up. We're going to do Intro to Greatest Common Factor. And if you want some extra practice, then you can try out some of these IXLs. The links are right there. So please scroll down to, we're going to scroll down to page 3. So first is, what are factors? If we're going to be working with greatest common factors, it's important for us to know what factors are. So what numbers can I use to multiply together to get the number 6, for example? I could use 6 times 1, or what else? I could use 2 times 3. So then I could say that some factors of 6 are 6, 1, 2, and 3. Or if I were to write them in order, 1, 2, 3, and 6. So we're going to look for the greatest common factor between the numbers 6 and 12. So we just found all the factors for 6. Let's find all the factors for 12. You can also think about factors as being numbers that you can divide a number by. So 1 times 12, or think I can divide 12 by 12 and 1. 2 times 6 would give me 12, and 3 times 4. Okay, again, now that I have all these numbers, I'm going to go ahead and write them in order. So from small to big, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. So now if I wanted to know the greatest common factor between these numbers, greatest is the biggest, common means the same, and factors are these numbers. So what's the biggest number that they have in common? I'm going to use my drawing tool just to identify something. So I'm looking, they both have a 1, I'll put a dot here. They both have a 2, another dot. They both have 3, and they both have 6. So which of those is the biggest number? Yeah, the 6's. So 6 is going to be the greatest common factor of those two numbers, 6 and 12. And isn't that true? Isn't 6 the biggest number I could possibly divide them both by? Absolutely. So this I just set up slightly differently. So this time I was looking for the greatest common factor of 8 and 24. So I have some space here for you for your math thinking. Here's my math thinking. 1 times 8 and 2 times 4 would give me 8. And for the 24, 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, and 4 times 6. Then I put them in order from small to big. So that was 1, 2, 4, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12, and 24. Here is something I want to point out. The greatest common factor can't be bigger than either of the numbers, which means here I could have stopped, because after that, the 12 and the 24 can't possibly be factors of 8 since they're bigger than the number 8, right? I can't divide 8 by 12 and get a whole number. I can't divide it by 24 and get a whole number either, because those numbers are bigger than 8. Another method some people use is, instead of putting them in order, they look at their math thinking and put a dot above all the numbers they have in common. 2, 4, and 8. What's the largest they have in common? 8. And that was our greatest common factor. You can see it in the chart here. The chart is just a more organized way of using it. Do you have to use it? Nope. Use what you need. So let's try this one. Let's think of all the ways to get 36. I like to start with 1 so we don't forget it. It's an even number, so I know 2. 2 times 18. 3 times 12. 4 times 9. Let's see. 6 times 6. And I think that's it. So there are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 factors for this one. And again, if you like to, you can write them in order here. I'm just going to use one text box and put some spaces. All right, let's do the same for 56. Feel free to use your multiplication chart. You can find that by going to classwork, and there's a bunch of tabs on the left side. One of them says multiplication chart. If you click on it, it'll open a multiplication chart that goes all the way up to 15 times 15. Let's do 1 times 56. 6. It ends in an even number, which means 2 times a number. If you're not sure what number it is, think, what's half of 50? That's 25. And half of 6 is 3. 25 and 3 would be 28. 4 times 14. 8 times 7. And I think we've got them all. All right, and let's write them out. Okay, so just like before, we had 1, 2, 4, 7, 8, 14, 28, and 56. Alrighty. So now let's look at the ones that they have in common. I'm going to use my drawing tool again. They both have 1. They both have 2. They both have 4. Nope, not 6. Not 9. Nope, not 12. Not 18. Not 36. So what's the biggest number they have in common? You got it. It's 4. So you can see that you could just look at your math thinking space and say, oh, what number do they have in common? They have 1. They both have 2. They both have 4. That's it. And then say the largest is 4. Either way, whatever works for you. All right, let's go on to number 2. Let's do one more together, and then I'm going to have you guys try. So again, let's do the same thing here. I want you to look at your multiplication chart or use your math facts and write down all the ways to get 12. Pause the video and then check to see if you got them all. All right, great job. So you should have gotten 1 times 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4 as factors of 12. So that's 1, 12, 2, 6, 3, and 4. You also should have gotten 1 times 60, 2 times 30, 3 times 20, 4 times 15, 5 times 12, and 6 times 10. Those are all the ways to make 60. Now record your factors below in the chart in number order. All right, so I just filled the numbers in number order. Now, you'll notice that I didn't put enough boxes here, but I actually did that for a reason. I wrote them all out, but I'm still going to show you why you don't need all of them. So a couple of reasons. So one reason is, remember the greatest common factor can never be bigger than either number. So once the numbers that are factors start going over 12, I could have stopped. So I know 15, 20, 30, and 60 can't possibly be factors of 12 because nothing times any of those numbers equals 12. That's a whole number. So I can go through and say they both have 1, they both have 2, they both have 3, they both have 4, they both have 12, and they both have 6. Biggest number they have in common is 12. Okay, pause the video if you need more time to copy. Number 3. So number 3, you're not going to have enough boxes. So you can either add boxes or write it underneath. Or maybe you could always write only the numbers they have in common. So just write out the work here and try writing down only the numbers they have in common down below to find out their greatest common factor. And it's going to be a double-digit number. Okay? So 2 digits in your answer here. If you're someone who you feel like you know this without showing all of the work for it, like you just know your division skills really well, then it's okay to just write it. So number 4, this is number 4, greatest common factor of 49 and 56. Again, I give you some math thinking space and a table if you need it. Use what you need. Number 5, I take away those tools. If you need it, you can draw the things that you use. You may not use both of those, and that's okay. Or you may just make a list of your facts for 6 that make 63 and that make 27, and maybe put some dots above the ones that are common and find the greatest common factor. Okay, so you're going to finish to number 7. So a hint about number 6. Number 6 is a 2-digit answer. I'm saying that because I saw in class a lot of people put a smaller number, and they were missing one in the 45 that equals 45. So that's a little hint for you. So if you don't have a 2-digit answer, keep looking. Use that multiplication chart. It's definitely on there. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, you are going to finish 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's a total of 5 problems. And if you're stuck on it, please check in with me. Send me an email and say, hey, Mrs. Kenny, I'm stuck. I will help you. I'd be happy to help you. All right, guys. And if you're struggling with this method, you can also check out the video in the links that says how to find GCF using your multiplication chart. All right, guys, good luck. Don't forget to submit it when you're done. See you later.